people all over the world appreciate the joy of dining at an establishment which serves delicious food. During this timeless occasion, we savor not only the unique qualities of the food being served, we also consume various other important characteristics of the dining experience while seated inside any dining establishment. The service we are given, presentation of the meal, style of the interior surroundings, and even our dining companions also significantly influence each eating experience. This series will visit the booming metropolis of Victorian London at the height of the British Empire to experience dining from one gentleman's viewpoint during that period. The journalist Nathaniel Newnham-Davis, generally known as Lieutenant Colonel Newnham-Davis, was a British food writer and gourmet. His acclaimed London establishment reports earned him a fine reputation during the latter decades of the Victorian era. Through his unique culinary journeys, we shall explore fascinating accounts of various establishments in late Victorian London he felt worthy of patronage. Nathaniel Newnham-Davis provides our unique view into fine dining in the late Victorian period through his 1899 book titled Dinners and Diners, Where and How to Dine in London. This was a time when elegant two-wheeled horse-drawn carriages like hansoms were still in vogue. With each chosen restaurant, the acclaimed food writer provides more than just a routine review. His captivating accounts welcome the reader into a select world of culinary achievements, with a side dish of keen observation. He provides exquisite social commentary and contemporary background for each establishment he visits, which appears to be as important for him as the food on offer. Vivid descriptions of the atmosphere and distinguished people that made these restaurants their second home make us seem as if we are sitting at the next table. On today's episode, we will visit Hotel Cecil. Located on the Strand in Westminster, London, and opened in 1896, it was the largest hotel in Europe at that time. The main restaurant at Hotel Cecil was reviewed and recommended by Nathaniel Newnham-Davis in his landmark 1899 book. Please note we are using the United Kingdom pronunciation of Cecil. History of Hotel Cecil in Westminster, London. The Hotel Cecil was built between 1890 and 1896 and designed by the architects Perry and Reed on a 3.5-acre site. This hotel was named after Cecil House, a mansion that has stood in this location during the 17th century. Hotel Cecil had 800 large rooms equipped with the latest electric lighting when it opened, and at that time was the largest hotel in Europe. Hotel Cecil was known for its excellent cuisine and its luxurious interior surroundings. Inside were 3 restaurants capable of hosting up to 1,150 diners. These included the Grand Restaurant, which was the main dining room, the Victoria Hall, and the smallest room, named the Princess Hall. A large palm court ballroom located beside the central courtyard was a popular venue for tea in the afternoon and dancing in the evening. During the year 1917, this hotel was requisitioned for the British war effort by the Air Board. In fact, on April 1, 1918, Hotel Cecil became the first headquarters for the RAF. In the 1920s, flappers of the Jazz Age frequented this establishment for its accomplished band. Hotel Cecil closed in February of 1930. That same year, during the autumn, a large portion of the building was demolished. Afterwards, Shellmex House was built on the site. Now, let us present the review of the restaurant at Hotel Cecil by Nathaniel Newnham-Davis. Please note the following review appears as he wrote it at the time, reflecting customs, language, and attitudes of the Victorian age. No offense is intended by presenting his original account, as our channel provides detailed information for historical purposes from the Victorian era. Review from the dinner at Hotel Cecil as told by Nathaniel Newnham-Davis. It was in the noble cause of conversation of fellow man that I dined in the Hotel Cecil. One of my uncles, the Nabob, so called by us because he spent many years in the gorgeous East, affects the belief that there is no good curry to be had outside the portals of his club, the East India, and for that reason, when he is not dining at home, dines nowhere but there. I would not dare to trifle with the Nabob's digestion, for I have reason to believe that he has remembered me in his will, but I also thought that he should not be allowed to go to his grave with the erroneous impression that curry can only be made out of India in St. James Square. The Nabob, doubting much, said that he would dine with me, and with the possibility of the alteration of the terms of that will always be before me, I went down to the Hotel Cecil to interview Monsieur Bertini on the morning of the day of the dinner. Monsieur Bertini would see me directly, I was told, and I went down a floor or two in the lift and was shown into a comfortable room, the big table in the center covered with papers, a telephone at either side of the armchair by the table, and on the walls sketches for the uniforms of the gentlemen with gold-laced caps who had received me, a caricature of Monsieur Bertini, and drawings of various continental hotels. Presently in came Monsieur Bertini himself, looking cool and neat, his beard closely clipped, his mustache brushed out. I had interfered with his morning round of inspection, but he could spare a minute or two to talk over my needs for the evening. I told him at once what I wanted, a dinner for two with the curry course as the most important item, and Monsieur Bertini, who was an expert in cookery, took a slip of paper and sketched out a menu. Here it is. Hors d'oeuvre varié, consommé Sarah Bernhardt, filet de sole à la garbeure, côte au chevril, sauce poivrade, haricots verts à la vidère, pommes Cecil, mousse de foie gras et jambon au champagne, curry à l'indienne, Bombay duck, etc., etc., asperges, baume à la Cecil, petit friandis choisi. We had a table in the corner of the great restaurant, with its dozen marble pillars, its walnut paneling, its tapestries, the gilt Cecil arms on a great square of red velvet, its great crystal lamps that hold the electric light, its fireplaces of Sicilian marble, its gilt ceiling, its musicians' gallery in one corner. The waiters with their white aprons bustled silently about, setting down the hors d'oeuvre. The important person with the silver chain round his neck took the order for a bottle of Deutz and Gelderman, and the curry cook, clothed in white samite and with his turban neatly rolled, came up to make his salam, and was immediately tackled by the nabob, who in fluent Hindustani put him through an examination in the art of curry making, which was apparently satisfactory, for he was dismissed with a botacha. Then the nabob, hook-nosed, clean-shaven except for two thin side whiskers, turned to me. When I was at Moab in '54, Holkar, not the present man, but his grandfather, had a curry cook named Afiz, who, and just then the waiter brought the soup, which I was glad of, for I knew my uncle's story of Holkar and Afiz, and how the cook was to have been beheaded for giving his highness a mutton curry instead of an egg one, and was saved by the nabob's interference, and I knew that it took half an hour in the telling. The consommé Sarah Bernhardt, which has a foundation of turtle, to which is added consommé de volaille, quenelle, and parsley, was worthy of Monsieur Coste, erstwhile of Kubat's, the gorgeous restaurant in the Champs-Élysées, who had deserted the banks of the Seine for those of the Thames, and the filet de sole à la Garbure, over the description of the cooking of which Monsieur Guy Galliardere, the most attentive of maîtres d'hôtel, waxed eloquent, was another masterpiece of the kitchen. It is a variation of the filet de sole Monet, having vegetables added to it. Then came a pause, and with the nabob's opportunity, Holkar never gave a great curry feast without asking me to it, for he said that I was the only European who understood what a curry should be. And just then the waiter put down our cutlets before us, and Monsieur Galliardelli was at my elbow to explain that the haricots verts were prepared with flour and egg, and then fried like a sole, and Monsieur Laurent, the chef du restaurant, who had been going the round of tables, told us the secret of Pomme Cecil. The mousse was the only dish in the dinner that was really open to criticism, and I do not think that I am captious when I say that I prefer it made less solidly than Monsieur Coste's creation at the Cecil. Then came the dish of the evening, a tender spring chicken for the foundation of the curry, and all the accessories, Bombay duck that crumpled in our fingers to dust, paprika cakes, thinner than a sheet of notepaper, and chutneys galore to add to the savory mess. It was a genuine Indian curry, and the curry cook, his hands joined in the attitude of polite deference, stood and watched rather anxiously the nabob take his first mouthful. I myself think the Malay curries the best in the world. Those wonderful preparations of prawns, fish, fowl, meat, or vegetable, with one great curry as the foundation swimming in the delicious semi-liquid, which is always the taste of fresh coconut, with half a dozen subsidiary curries, and then a host of sambals, little dishes of ota ota, which is fish brains pounded in cream, fresh coconut and chili, beans, shredded ham, Bombay duck, and 100 other relishes. And I put next to it the Ceylon curry. But the nabob swears by the curries of India, and even the old quahales of his club pay attention when he gives his decision in a question of feeding. Yes, good, said the old gentleman, and the cook salaamed. Good, decidedly. I don't say as good as we get at the club. He was bound to say this, but decidedly good. The success of the dinner was made, and I felt relieved in my mind as to the will, the asparagus, and the bomb, with an electrically illuminated ice windmill as a background, were but the skirmishes after the pitched battle had been won. As I lighted a cigarette, the nabob, who does not smoke, began again. Holkar always invited me and a fellow Hafiz, whose life I saved, that's a devilishly good story that I must tell you some day, used to make one special curry of lamb's tongues, which he called after me. Pardon me, uncle, while I pay my bill, I said as a last resource. And this was the bill I paid. Soup, 2 shillings. Filet de sole, 3 shillings. Côte de mouton, 3 shillings. Haricots verts, 1 shilling 6 pence. Pomme, 1 shilling. Mousse, 4 shillings. Curry, 3 shillings 6 pence. Asperge, 7 shillings 6 pence. Bomb, 2 shillings. 2 café, 2 shillings. Liqueur, 3 shillings. Cigarette, 1 shilling. Wine, 15 shillings. Total, £2, 8 shillings, 6 pence. 29th of March. Thank you for watching this episode of Fine Places to Dine in Victorian London. Please be sure to watch another episode from this series or any other VictoriantoModern episode shown at the end of this video. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notification button so we can create more exciting content. I wish you good tidings as we remember that sharing knowledge has been a noble deed throughout the ages.